that. As a player, he's been very successful as well. Michelle will serve first. Praia Club looking to start exactly how they finished yesterday. The slide attack is first start. Carly Lloyd, front court setter, uses the 10 attack. That's some rip, but the dig is good as well. We're off to a very good start. Very great. Tipping to the line. Here we go. That's a sign of things to come. We're in for a big, big treat. Shevskaya, the wing spiker. 33 years old, getting her points early doors, but one back. The slide attack used just to try and open up the net when you have a front court setter. Spikers from both wings. Diana to serve. Passing out of system. There should be at least two in the block, but the set is really, really rash as well. Too wide from Altay, but that's just passing out of system for you. The setter's nowhere near that one. So someone else has to step in and take responsibility. Serve to the line is good again. There's a better pass into position 3, so the game has opened up, trying to find some splits in the block, tipping away. Also on that 10 ball, very effective. The American duo, Michelle on the pipe attack. 2 in the block, finding solutions on the angle. Very similar to what happened yesterday. Mamadova is high and she just goes wrist away, thumb down, dives the ball. But Jordan Larson served her team, Zakabasi, into a tremendous lead yesterday by 7 or 8 with a thunderous jump serve. Oh, some angles. That's incredible. Here comes the boom. It's about right for that. Fegre just opens up so nicely. Elbow back, chest is open, fades the ball away. That's what you want from your wing spiker. Carly Lloyd with the serve. 2 in the block. And Mamadova has been shut down. Praia are flying here. Very quick out the blocks this morning. Just dropping her hands inside, penetrating well, taking time away from the spiker. Passes into a perfect position. If position 1, that right side of court, can pass into position 3, the game can open up really nicely to find gaps between the blocks. Second chance. Fegre showing that she not only blocks but plays defense well as well. Off the net, let's force it. Unfortunately, she just drives the ball into the center of the net. Entertaining beginning here. Shashikova, just 18 years old to serve, starting quite far back. Fast pace. You can see that very early. Props to the libero, trying to speed the game up from the first touch when she feels that she has ultimate control over the ball. When the first pass is that good and quick, makes it very difficult for the blockers. Onto the front court receiver. Tip is seen really early from Michelle, so it goes to the outside. Force it scores. It's just going to be very, very intriguing to see how close the Brazilian teams can push the teams from Turkey over the next few days as well. The two Turkish sides here, or two sides from Istanbul actually, are the favourites. Lloyd's in play, Bakery coming through like an absolute truck. Incredible work. That takes us to the first technical timer. Navarra, easily one of the best club teams in the world as well. I agree with the serve. It's another absolute thunderous serve and play from the baseline. Chases on. Libero's after it. Free ball from Fawcett. Second chance for the team from Kazakhstan. It's a good swing, but the blockers slow the game down again. Vega is so aggressive. Some rally this one, but put to bed from Carroll in the middle. Persistence in defense certainly does pay off here. Great vision, sees the pass is good, so she just has to hold with the middle plate. Looks as if we have another timeout. This time, 5'10", the number 16. And has played all over the globe. Actually played in China 2 seasons ago with Guangdong Evergrande. Mamedova finding a really nice angle to the line. Not easy for the right side player to get their feet inside the ball, find the ball in their hitting window, which is directly over that right shoulder. If the ball gets into that slot, you can spike anywhere really, within theory. Out of system, high plays. The defense yet again is strong though. And the libero, Sue Ellen, just covering the court so nicely. Very great. We've seen power from her, but that's unbelievable placement as well. Very great. Has won this competition with Soles, Nestle, Saxo. Team from Sao Paulo won this in 2012. She's also won this competition in 2015. Sorry, runner-up in this competition in 2015 with Dynamo Krasnodar. Six-point game still. Comfortable for Praia. Fawcett to serve. From Penn State University, won 2 NCAA national championships. Serving absolute stormers from that back line. Goes for power, but doesn't really get the wrist over the top of the ball and the fingers and the thumb pointing downwards. So as much as it's like a topspin serve and the pace of one, the contact, that's a bit better. That's more spin on it. But the contact was more of a float serve. Once again, to him, Michelle doing the work this time. The service pressure from Praia Club has been quite incredible. But even when the pass is good, they're just taking the cross court away from Vendrakova. Fawcett again on a fine run. Ball goes to the outside, 2 in the block again, but the tip cover is strong as well from the player at position 1. Fading away, just almost overturning the wrist that time. The ball goes wide. Martina and it can over. It's a situation they found themselves in every set so far. A big deficit. Find some credit there from the captain, Fabiana. Just taking off one foot, but it's more of the play drifting to position 2 that makes it so difficult to block, to try and track the line of the blocker and finish back into the center of court. Not easy. From way downtown. 3 in the block, and that's a great solution. Drobeshevskaya doesn't mind if she has 3 up. Setting from Lloyd, so good, so good. Ball's into 3.5, so she just goes long distances back to the middle. At position 2. But the width is perfect. Fabiana does not need asking twice to put that to the line. Finally, a slightly poor serve from Praia, who until this moment in time have served so well early on. There's a mix-up. Fegre getting caught backpedaling, losing some stability in her pass, trying to go overhand, which is fair enough with a float serve. And then everyone just looks at each other. Much better. Fegre this time decides to track the ball back, keeps her shoulders behind the ball and guides the ball in very nicely. Lloyd now just dictating the play. She goes back to her outside, but the 2 blockers doing a great job. Mamadova from the right side. Good blocking from both sides. But that's a gnarly angle. Technical timeout, 16-9 this first set for Altay, but there's one thing we are aware of, is that anything is possible in this game. The speed of the play, though, may be a little bit damaging. It's slow because of the height to the outsides. 3 in the block again. This time the block works for Altay, but they're playing with height to the wings, which gives the blockers time to set up. Unfortunately, that time for them it's blocked out. Much better for Altay, though. Speed is good. The middle spiking, excellent from Carroll. A little bit square to the net, but she manages to whip it back. The ball just travels across her a tad, and that means the ball can operate back to 5. Position 5, the left back position. Remember, 6 positions on court that players have to rotate around, but then they go back to their normal position. Setting is a little bit out. Should be punished here. Certainly is. Sassenbaeva just setting high and wide. Force it chiseling off the outside hand. Mamadova, who at the moment is playing for potentially the best Azerbaijan national team they've ever had, alongside Paulina Raramova. Between those two, they're the 2 biggest threats on the wings. Mamadova gets her own back. Nobody taking the tip over the top of the middle blocker, which is sometimes, depending on your system, the most difficult one to cover. 6 sits very deep, so you rely on 1 or 5 taking that one most of the time. To the line is Doug from Popovic. Carroll. Passing slightly too fast, slightly too straight. The accuracy is incredible though. Staying high. Over the top by the looks of it, which is not easy to go over the top of Fabiana. What a play from start to finish. Fegare manages to track the ball back and really hold her platform. Lloyd knows exactly where the ball's going just because of the shape of the arms. And she can just pick out the middle on that reverse set. Back to business. Fawcett's serve has been damaging to say the least, but the timeouts maybe just affected her rhythm. Serve to position 5. Fegare the target again. They go to the pipe through Fawcett, and that's really nice, bringing Fawcett through on the pipe attack. Will just keep the blockers guessing. The blockers having to watch for the players. They're not just watching the ball. They're trying to watch the game and watch the body language of the spiker. More service pressure, and that's really what's separating the teams winning in the early stages of this competition. The service pressure is so good. It's unbelievable from Fegare. The athleticism, key here. So dynamic early on in the approach. Both arms go backwards, generating so much power. Moldova has to just throw that one over. Free ball. Once again, the middles doing big damage. Fabiana once again on that slide attack, linking with Lloyd, who's just really throwing the ball around nicely. Good speeds to the wings, but the connection with the middle is key, and then there's almost a block, but not this time. Credits to the outside spiker. Drobiszewskaja. Scoop, but once again, Sue Ellen is there to just sweep up. Sue Ellen has really not had so much to do, but what she has done has been very disciplined, good reactions, and just a product of staying really well focused. Set points. And what a way to seal it. Another race from a first set that has been full of service pressure. Fabiana scores from the baseline. Just 21 years old, Boskovic. And you would imagine that those two teams will qualify for the Final Four. Fegare off the net. She'll get it back though, and she's great out of system. The vision from Lloyd, incredible there. She just delays her timing. She can see everything. As soon as the spiker starts to slow down, she delays her timing. She goes and gets the block. Free ball. There should be an opportunity here for Altay. They go Moldova, but she's blocked out. Second opportunity to the wings. That's a great high arm. Shevskova has been impressive out there today. Lloyd is, 4-6 sat very high up on the line, protecting the tip. So the deep one to position 1 is scoring. Great, incredible. It was a Brazilian attempt at the World Championship that didn't really go to plan. Losing to Germany cost them really a place in the final 6. But they had to beat Japan 3-0 to qualify for that final 6. They didn't manage to do that. But it was that defeat against Germany that cost Brazil. And in theory, put Japan through. Japan also had to beat Serbia. Serbia were without Boslic in that game. Good avenues and alleyways, though. This is the best start to a set so far for Altay. Moldova goes back to the line. She's struggling to find the wrist away, but she's still managing to access the line. And Praia a blocking angle on her at position 2. Out of system, no middle, absolutely no 10 attack either, so it has to go to 4. Sue Ellen again making the dig. Fegare. For anyone watching, as soon as you have that wrist away, thumb down, it's the more unnatural swing. Anything where your thumb goes up and your wrist goes through into your left hand pocket is the more natural one, but Fegare hits that one so nicely away from the body that it's so difficult to play against. Zhu Ting also has it really nice at position 4. And after a great start for Altay, they're struggling once again. It's just because Praia is so robust in everything they do. Service pressure once again, causing all sorts of trouble. It's flat, it's fast, it's moving, it's really accurate in between the two passes. Fegare not only scoring on the wing, on the pipe, but from the baseline as well. It's another race. And we hit the technical timeouts. More of a threat than the men's. The lower net means that you can still hit this float serve so true. It means that the ball comes on to the service reception so quickly. That one does go in, but there's no middle again. Fegare just sweeping up to the line. Chance to the outsides. Moving around in the block. Michelle doing the business this time. The speed is tough. There's definitely a mismatch as well over the top of the setter. The height difference key. Pass is much stronger. And credit to Praia, they're getting 3 in the block every single time. Moldova playing nicely from that backcourt 10 attack. This time the tip from Praia. The defensive coverage is strong, but they can only just volley the ball back. Chance on the counter again. Steep. Also just commanding the play. Feed inside the ball. Good set, she says. 10-3. pass into a perfect zone. That's better from Altay. Back to the outside, force it. This time using the tip. Smart plays from the American. We saw power. Now we've just seen accuracy. The setter's just sitting on the inside trying to take the tip. But what she actually does is give up her position and give the tip away. Just sitting a bit 4-2. Before Faye went back to serve, and now they are flying away with it. Out was the call, but Mammadova has played it. At least 2 in the block, but they're all at sea here. Kazakhstan champions who are 6-1 this season domestically. They play their games as double headers. They seem to be cruising again, really. Some of the set scores you're seeing in their domestic league. They're really playing well. Fawcett just backs off. She has a choice there. She can either get 3 in the block or sit off and take the sharp swing back across the front of the court. She sits off. Gets beaten. Fast plays to the outside. A blocking really strong from Altay. Another chance for Fawcett. Oh, in the face. Apologies from the American. But she steers this one back to the line. So high. Nick on over. We'll be feeling that one. Tossing the serve a little bit out from Fawcett. Good vision in the block though from Fabiana, who's actually been fairly quiet at the start of this set because she's obviously been off for the libero. But when she does come on, she makes a difference. Gets out to the wings nicely. Paulo Boros Jr. again still barking orders even though his team lead by 10. What a start. Fawcett with an absolute whip of an arm as well. Through the pipe, Mammadova scores. Faye made the read, but couldn't keep the ball alive. Passing perfectly, they go back to the wings. Huge! Absolutely huge! Good speed from the middle. It's a great press as well. Tereshkova with that block. Oh, it's unlucky for Altay. They're having to work so hard for every single point. Michelle's serving now, but doesn't matter who's serving from the baseline. They seem to just attack at the earliest possible opportunity. Smuggling through is Fabiana. That ball was maybe a little bit too tight from Lloyd, but let's be honest, they're 9 points up, so we can't really say anything. It's too bad, and Faye goes the wrong side of the sideline. Can't afford to get complacent here. Praia. It's a high-level competition, this. This time passing way off the net. Sue Ellen. It's a great set from Sue Ellen to get her feet around the ball, send it to the outside, smuggled through. Back to the action. Fabiana with the serve. Once again, they're out of system. It says at least 2 in the block. Everyone else stacking around cross court, protecting the angle more than the line. But then second time of asking, Vadovia does manage, even though that the ball is drawn through, still manages to find the line. It's a good front court, this, for Altay. Fashion Praia on the back courts. Regulation, side out, job well done. Back to the opposite, Suella manages to get the pancake underneath the ball. Great reactions once again. She's sitting so still. But they're tipping from a high place now. Vadovia comes in aggressively and then takes the speed out the arm. They have to make their serves count, though. They really do. Also communicating that she's blocking the line. Number 1 means line, 2 means cross court. Goes to the outside. There will be 2 in the line for sure. It's a big deflection off the block, so it does go to the angle. Back on short to the front court receiver. And then on the pipe, that's tremendous. Nargilova, 29-year-old, shaping the ball to one. Lloyd, well, still really in her first position where she's out defending the middle. Passing just getting a little bit loose from Praia, but doesn't really matter because hitting out of system is difficult, but Michelle gets out really nicely. She makes more space to then drive her feet back in towards the ball. If you don't make that space early on in the approach, when you're out of system and you pass the ball off the net, you're only really going to spike the ball to the line and you'll probably get caught underneath it and make an error. That one is long. Still a 9-point game here. Challenge is out. Can't remember a challenge already in this game. It's rare, isn't it, in today's game to have to wait the best part of 2 sets. For a challenge, anyway. Yuri Panchenko has said challenge for a block touch. Popovic trying to keep her team going. Altay trying to keep warm. They're looking for a block touch. Hawkeye working closely with the referee up here in the stands. The challenge has worked and the decision overturned. Great work, Panchenko. Kristina Anikonova with a standing float serve. Michelle getting caught inside. It's a good serve trying to bring the front court receiver in to try and disrupt her rhythm. Carly Lloyd spreads the play really nicely, but the height on the set gives the time to the middle blocker to get onto the wings. Great blocking from Altay. They're growing. They really are. After struggling through the first 4 sets of this competition, they're getting better, and that one's maybe kept alive. Carl Fawcett saying, hey, calm down, we've got this one. That was some tempo. Inside 10, where the player just drifts from position 1 from the backcourt. 20-12, the score. Fawcett, who serves so powerfully as well. Front court receiver, perfect passing. Front court setter, so the 10 attacks in the game. Sue Ellen chasing, now they're using the 10 attack with Fawcett, but that's a sloppy touch. And there's some frustration following that. Happy coach. Timeout from Altay. Chell doesn't really bring her arm through there. Game on. Good timeout again, disrupting the rhythm of Fawcett. Next up, we have the Cliff Bank up against Valero, the French side, before Zakabasi play against Supreme at 5. And then later on, we go to a challenge here. We have Minas Tennis Club, the other team from Brazil, playing against the host team, Zhongshan. But first of all, we need to find out if there was a block touch on the previous play. It doesn't look like it early on. It's missing the index finger and anywhere near it. Absolutely no touch. Point to Altay. Frustration for Praia. That's well seen. Once they were beaten. The second time, no way. Charshakova with good vision, picking up Fawcett, making the block. The playmaker has to run the offense. Hard to run the offense when the ball is 5 meters off the net, though. Michelle has a little swing from deep to the outside or to the opposite, 2 in the block. And it's a little bit scrappier from Praia, but they're blocking really, really well. Passing out of system, but luckily for them, their blocking work is really good. Fast plays, back to the middle, it's really good reactions as well. Back to Fawcett, she swings high, but she swings out the back. Oh, there is a touch. Didn't see that one the first time, but Fawcett, super high. Substitutions by the look of it, or a challenge. The whistle's being blown. They're looking to challenge the block touch against Fawcett. The commentary position here, Michelle Singh, quite high. So it's difficult to always get a gist of every touch of the ball. Touch or no touch, definitely a touch. That time you can see the path of the ball just deviates. As you can hear, the challenge unsuccessful. 2 more now. We'll see Praia into a 2-set lead. Pass perfectly. There should be a side out here. Sue Ellen makes a really good read. She just adapts her line, sits inside, but the middle work, Shashikova repeatedly doing damage, blocking and spiking through position 3. Sue Ellen getting caught. It's a real stiff platform. Fumbling around, brings up set point for Praia. The captain to serve. Fabiano, who has a very, very strong float serve. It's quick. Passes back in system. Altay are passing better, but the block from Lloyd seals the deal. And Praia go 2-0 here. 25-14 in the first. Starting Akalova as well, playing again. And as this set starts, we'll be able to see if there's been any changes from Altay. But the pass is back on point. The middle work is good. Fawcett stays very still. Sits just on the outside of the block and makes the scoop. Second one's a bit of a tip that goes high and wide. You'd expect Carly Lloyd and Nicole Fawcett to be within the structure of the USA program come Tokyo 2020. Rob Shivskeva again. One of 10 Kazakhstan players in this side. Just Mamedova. Ikic is from Croatia, Mamedova from Azerbaijan, and Jacinho from Puerto Rico. The foreigners playing in the team. It's better, isn't it? Finding the gaps. Smarter. Hitting away from the body. Trying to evade the blockers. Definitely avoided that time. Reverse pipe, really good. Lloyd's pass quite straight on. So she doesn't want to get crammed going to the outside, because otherwise the spiker will find it hard playing around two blockers. So she just drags the ball back on the pipe attack. High plays. Over on the inside, she's shut down, but the cover is really well disciplined. Carly Lloyd sitting off, taking the sharp one. Fegare, all out of system, all out of sync. This is a chance to counter and to take an early lead. Much better from Altay here. We said they could cause problems. Consistency is key, but the work in the middle and the opposite growing. Improving. But can they really capitalize throughout this stage? Sitting higher at 6, making more digs as well. Mamedova decides to chip that one. She gets punished. Maybe throughout that occasion to stay aggressive on it would maybe work, but goes for safety, gets shut down. Service pressure. From Lloyd is good. This is what they're going to have the next few points, is Lloyd and Fegare serving, two of their best servers, just working together. Great defense, coach. Hanchenko. They need to get off this rotation very quick. The setter's at position 4. It's a difficult one to work with. It's another dig, Sue Ellen. Stepping in, quick plays the outside, and that rotation where the setter's at 4 is the most difficult one for most teams in the world. The setter has to run from the front left across the court and try with 2 spikers on the front court to side out. It's not easy because serving this rotation difficult for Altay. The setter runs in again from position 4. Again, they're limited to have to go to the outside. It's only one option, so the blockers know what's going on. Through force it goes. It's great work from Carly Lloyd. Same play every time. They're almost predicting it, but this time Praia hits them out of a fiddle. That's why they're serving straight down the line, because it's very difficult to get the slide attack in. Difficult to use the pipe, difficult to use the 10, sorry. Serving the middle spiker. Figure 8. 8-4. Technical timeouts. Same story, but again, Altay have the first technical has passed us by. Comes at a good time, really, because Figure 8 serves so strongly. Great pass, plucked from nowhere, from the right sideline. Chance from the pipe again. Figure 8 serving with power. And here comes the boom. Just doesn't want any of that one. Praia decides to just almost turn away from that spike. Doesn't want to play defense. Serve goes long. And that really is credit to how much power Figure 8 has. They can woo as much as they like, but defensively, Altay are growing. The second one is just too accurate. Again, the woos are because of the steepness of the swing, but staying deeper, staying accurate is where the bread is buttered in this game. Scoring points easily now, 10-5. It looks as if Praia are going to go to the top of the group, for the time being anyway. Again, you can see how close the ball is to the net band. Difficult to pass. The ball is coming onto the passing unit very quickly. Free ball. Should be another point here for Praia. They're cruising, but no. Once again, Shashikova proves her worth to the team just by seeing what's going to happen before it actually does. Popovic is laughing, having fun now. Very tight, but Carly Lloyd finds the middle on the reverse. Good footwork, good pressing, good blocking. Characteristics of Praia. There's a challenge. Altay want to know whether the ball was in or out. Tension building yet again. Looks pretty much in. That challenge will not be overturned. The point stands, and so does the 6-point lead. Force it, topspin jump serve. Well tracked to get that ball into 3. Really good work. Out of system, staying high. Second opportunity here. Popovic steps in. It's a reverse bump set, but 2 blocks in a row. That one doesn't go down. The cover from Altay much stronger. Fabiana hits through the seams. That's exactly why they're running that set. Wide and fast, then snap back through the gap between the blockers. Back to 7 points in this one. High plays, more blocking. And it's slightly down to just how high Altay are playing. Gives more time for the blockers just to set themselves. The middle blocker to get across and double stack. But even for the wing spiker, just to concentrate on finding a good line. Absolute bullet from the baseline. 3 balls, kills all day long. And Praia, as we go to a timeout, look like they're going. Could be another timeout coming our way very soon if Fawcett serves an ace. But no, the timeouts yet again is enough to just upset the rhythm. Something we've said a few times, Fawcett in this game. Every set she's been serving post timeouts. The next serve has gone astray. Passing off the net, no middle this time, so Lloyd has to go to the outside. Great read on the tip. They know that they're protecting the line there, Altay, and the off-block cover works well. Sliding around. Just using the block as a friend and not. So sorry, not the block, the defense. Saw a touch up here from the Stars. Popovic taken out. But their biggest challenge to come next for Praia against Zakabasi of Turkey, Boskovic, Jordan Larson, their captain. Just to name a couple of big stars that play for them. Crushing away is Fawcett. Out of system, but Mamedova tracks it well. Scoring points. Shashikova again. Sees that one straight down. No digging that. Pass from Sue Ellen, perfect. They see the pipe, have to try and change direction to position 1, 2 in the block. Yet again, they're seeing everything so nicely. Extremely good. For me, it's the height that they play to the wings. Yes, decision making could go round the block or over the top, but really good blocking from Praia. Height to position 2, more block touches just because of the time that they have. It goes again to Mamedova, who then hits a little bit sharper. Subs are coming in. Looks like a double sub here. Montenegro. The opposite spiker coming into play on the front court, which means second setter comes in as well. They've got one back, but the ball is still in play. Rush to the outside. Free ball here. Altay have a chance to get into double figures. Smuggled through. Welcome to the game. Montenegro. Slightly quicker. Drifting in the middle. It's because of the passing. Holds the middle for slightly longer. But that's Praia just bouncing straight back. Popovic passing perfectly. Popovic is a world champion libero. There aren't many people that can say that, but when the pass is good, the options are open. You can use any one of the 5. Good blocking once again. Chance on the counter. Finding a way through. Maybe it's not too little, too late for the team from Kazakhstan. Sharp angles. Yes, the net band is in play. Fawcett's just taking the tip. They're leaving that sharper angle. It's a difficult one to find. But with a little bit of love from the net, and now from the block. What a run! Altay. It's a monster block. And there's a timeout from Praia. Maybe this one is far from over. Pass is good. They really need a side out here, Praia, because Altay are just starting to believe in themselves again. That will do from Fawcett, just tipping around the block. Serve from Vega 8. Quick platform. This is why she's just a point scorer. She really is. No matter where she is on the court, she's just a threat. Vega 8. Contact so short, the power going through the ball high. Chase is on, but that's too good. It's exciting stuff here, because Altay, again, throwing the kitchen sink at this one. Passing into a good zone. Back to the opposite. 2 tips in a row from Fawcett. Good enough. We've seen power. We've seen different angles from the right-hander. But position 5 there. Napping. Drifting backwards, meaning the defender has to shuffle their weight forwards very quickly. The opposite with the serve. Montenegro. And that's been punished. They're serving with a little bit more clout, and they're being rewarded with more opportunities to score. And over the last 5 minutes or so, Altay have potentially been the better side. using technology so the opposition don't know what you're saying. Although maybe language barrier could be a problem anyway. Fawcett misses her serve. And we're still at 5 points the difference. It was 20-13. Just shows how well Altay have played at the end. Fast plays, good use to the middle from Lloyd, just moving the ball from one side to another, opening up the court really well. And now 2 points. We'll see them through. High from the left side, out the back, match points. For Praia. It's been pretty dominant, but Altay have improved throughout. First match point, Michelle serving. Passes pretty straight on, they go through position 2. Sue Ellen makes the dig, but now forces on the 10 attack. That's as accurate as you will get to the perimeter of court. Praia Club from Brazil win their second game in straight sets against Altay Volleyball Club from Kazakhstan. Good serving, good blocking. The Brazilian champions will go to the top of Pool B, 25-14, 25-16, 25-17. Improvements throughout from Altay, but too strong and too physical from Praia Club. It's going to be interesting.